Hi everyone, this is our channel, Around My Story. Please like, share and subscribe.
Death. Death is the end of everything. Your dreams, your love life, your joy, laughter, sadness, you name it. Movies, books, and real life stories often end in death, but some stories live on even when their owners are long dead. Let me tell you one such story. My name is Andrew. I'm 18 years old. I lived with my mom and my little brother Peter. Peter was 3 years younger than me, but I looked up to him as if he were my older brother because I was carefree and irresponsible, always misbehaving, whereas he was quiet, educated, responsible, and well behaved. He used to chastise me because I didn't seem to be concerned about my future, and I would always tease him back because he was younger than me. He used to say that we had to make Mom proud of us, but I never listened to him. I loved driving. My dad had an old car that he used to take me and my brother on picnics. After Dad died a natural death, we didn't sell the car. Since I loved driving, I taught myself how to work on cars, do car maintenance. So I decided to take care of Dad's old car. Peter and I spent many days working on it, spending quite a bit of money in the process to do so. I told him that I dreamed of entering a car race that was scheduled to our area soon. He was hesitant to let me at first, but I finally persuaded him that it'd be okay. We hid this from Mom because we figured she probably wouldn't have approved of this. Then something unexpected happened. My cousin Ashley's parents died in a horrible train crash, so Ashley came to live with us. She was just 8. We all liked her, but Peter took more interest in her than the rest of us. He would take good care of her, feed her, help her in her studies, things like that. He would often bring her presents and sweets. It seemed to me he thought of her more like a daughter than a cousin. One day, Ashley seemed overly fatigued and listless, so we took her to the hospital to have her checked out. The doctor determined that Ashley's heart was smaller than normal and that she only had a few days to live. We got second opinions from several other doctors, but they all were in agreement. Peter was deeply saddened. I knew he would have done anything to save her. Regardless, her health was deteriorating rapidly. She could neither play nor laugh. Peter scoured the internet for hours and hours and located a doctor in another state who could perform heart transplant surgery. We immediately went to consult with him. He told us that we would need to find a normal sized heart to give her. This heart would need to come from a recently killed person, such as an accident victim, or from a volunteer who was willing to die for her. In addition, he mentioned that the heart surgery was very expensive. Peter told the doctor that we couldn't afford the surgery, but the doctor was so humanitarian and kind that he took pity on us and said he would do the surgery for free to save Ashley's life. We were overjoyed and thanked him profusely. Now all we had to do was find a volunteer who was willing to die for her. Yeah, good luck with that, right? We inquired and solicited everywhere, but of course, no one was willing to donate his heart to save a stranger at the expense of his own life. I have to admit, they had a valid point. So our last hope was to find a fresh corpse, one who had recently died in an accident or some sort. Sounds so macabre, doesn't it? But we figured that getting a donor heart of this nature might cost a lot of money too. Suddenly, Peter asked me about my crazy idea of entering that car race. "What's the award if you win the car race?" he asked. "Wow, certainly enough money for us to pay for a donor heart," I responded. Peter was suddenly on board with this idea. I began practicing my racing skills while Peter took care of Ashley. Then the car race competition arrived. I was there waiting for Peter to show up to cheer for me, but he was late showing up, so I tried calling him but failed. So then I called Mum. Wherever she was, her background noise was very high, and I couldn't hear her well. I asked her if she knew where Peter was. She told me that Peter had had a car accident on his way to the racetrack. My heart skipped a beat. Time stopped. I held my breath for a moment. I asked her for more details, but she only said that Peter had left me a simple message: "I trust you completely." I took my place for the race and steeled myself. I had to focus on the race. It started. The completion was tough. Sometimes I would gain the lead only to lose it to someone else. But in the end, I won. I collected the prize money and rushed to the hospital to find Mom sitting outside Peter's room sobbing. "How's Peter?" I asked. She looked up and said that Peter's condition was very serious. I went to his hospital room and found him on his deathbed. He opened his eyes and smiled when he saw me. I told him that he would get well soon, but he smiled weakly and told me that he knew he was going to die. I tried to stop him from saying that, but he insisted on finishing his statement anyway. Then he told me that he had written down his last wish and given it to Mum, and that I was to open it and do what it said. He held my hand and said, "I love you, Andrew." Then his hand went limp and his eyes closed. I heard his heart monitor change to that dreaded continuous flatline tone. I felt like I was in a nightmare. This couldn't really be happening. The doctors tried to resuscitate him, but they couldn't. He died. We had lost him forever. I asked Mom about Peter's dying wish. He had donated his heart to Ashley. We hoped and wished that Ashley would live a long, happy life. She had to, because she had a very loving heart.